Hello there, everybody. My name is AB. Welcome to this week's episode of My Dirty Laundry Diary. I hope this is finding everyone well and that this past week was okay. If it wasn't, I'm proud of you for getting through it. For me, this past week wasn't bad, but it was like I think I have so much going on that I am kind of going through the motions for a lot of things. I'm still trying to find a new place to live and to figure all that stuff out, so it takes up so much of my time that I don't really have much time for thinking about anything else. I've also had some issues at work since putting in my notice, which is always super fun. So that makes being there just already more difficult than it was. And I find myself sitting there and being like, I should have put my notice in for an earlier date. I could not. I can't. But that's the kind of vibe. Yeah. With that being said, this weekend, I saw Project Hail Mary, which is a new movie that just came out. With I know it's starring Ryan Gosling. Who is it directed by? I'm typing it in right now. Let's see. Where is it? I just now am looking because it's Ryan Gosling and the main character's name is Ryland Grace. I think that's fun. Okay, but the directors are Phil Lord and Chris Miller. The screenplay was by Drew Goddard. Cinematography by Greg Fraser, and it came out on March 20th. And it is, I cannot express this enough. My cat just knocked over my remote. It is incredible. Incredible. Not only was it just visually an insane movie, just beautifully done, and Ryan Gosling's acting was great. It was incredible. But I don't even know how to express it. It made me feel so hopeful. And there are many things right now to not be hopeful about. So to have a piece of media come out that reminds you to be hopeful, just wow. Wow. Yeah, I saw it at the drive-in with my friends. If you've never gone to the drive-ins, they are so much fun, and I recommend them to anyone that has the opportunity to go to one. I've always said to myself, my dream is if I find someone to spend the rest of my life with, I want to take them to the drive-in and that be our thing, because I love going to the drive-ins. And here in Western New York, there's quite a few of them actually spread about. So if you can, go to the drive-ins. The drive-ins are the best. I digress. Yes, back to the Project Hail Mary though. In it, one of the actors who is one of the astronauts that goes to space with Ryan Gosling's character, they're talking him and Ryan Gosling about taking this leap, and the astronaut says, you just need to find something or someone to be brave for. And I'm trying to be vague to not ruin it for anyone. So I won't say anything more about the movie other than it was incredible and please go see it as soon as you can. Give it all the awards, please. I have no way of making that happen, but I'm requesting it now. Sorry, it's such a good movie. I thought about that specifically of you need to find someone to be brave for. And I came to the conclusion of right now I need to be brave for myself. And that is a completely valid option to choose. I think especially Ryan Gosling's character in this, Ryland Grace, he doesn't have children, he doesn't have a partner. I think in one of the scenes the one character's like, "You don't even have a dog." And I have cats, and I would like to have a better life for them. But I was like, wow. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way where I have friends and I have family members, but I don't have like this specific astronaut has, I believe it's a daughter or a child to be brave for. And I don't have that. So why can't I be brave for myself? Why can't I take a big leap or do a big thing that will help save myself? And so now I am thinking about my life in that way. Because I have so much going on, it's really scary. And I was talking to my therapist about this week, where sometimes it's more comfortable to stay in the trenches, and it feels better to stay in the trenches rather than go out there and run on the battlefield. And I've spent so much time in the trenches, making the trench comfortable and a safe space for me, and expanding the trench that now when I look out on the battlefield, I have this familiar feeling because I've been here before, but it's a completely new battlefield. And I'm not the same person that's looking out on it. And I'm actually kind of excited to go out there and see what might be on the other side of the battlefield or what other trench might be there. Because I would be silly to think that I will never need to be in a trench again or that life would allow me the joy of never entering a trench again. And this week especially, I've been very anxious about taking the big leap, which is normal. And my therapist was saying that to me, like, how you're feeling right now, that's a normal reaction. And you're handling it really well because what you have going on is very overwhelming. And it would be overwhelming to anyone because I have less than a month now to find a new apartment, figure everything out, move down there, find a new job, do all of these things. And that, for me, kind of makes me I like feel my chest, not chest get tight, but like freeze. My whole body kind of freezes. That's normal. But I also, the thought of what doors can open now, and I'm just that much closer to doing the thing that I spend all day daydreaming about. Okay, yeah, time to be brave, time to do the big things. I think I've said this previously in a different episode. There are no right and wrong choices, there are just choices and the things that follow. I think when it comes to big life changes or things that feel like big life decisions, we can oftentimes worry about, am I making the wrong decision? Am I making the right decision? Which is absolutely normal. There's no wrong or right decision. There's just a decision. And I see a lot of the time online too, a lot of people that talk about you're going to reach a point in your life where there's going to be two choices: to stay and to take a leap. And it's very important you do the one that terrifies you. Taking the leap that I'm about to take, like I've just said, makes me like, oh gosh. But not because I'm scared of what could go wrong. I mean, I am. But I'm also scared of what could go right. And that's overwhelming. And it also makes me a bit sad sometimes to think about how, and you might out there relate to this, we get so comfortable in the meh that we become scared of things changing for the way we want them to be and changing into something really, really good, because the good can get taken away. But if we stay in the meh, we can always expect meh. But I'm wasting my life. I'm not saying you are out there. I'm me personally, I can feel it. I can feel it taking its toll on me and leaching. And I know that I'm not where I'm meant to be. I know there's more out there for me. I'm meant to be doing other things. I just feel it. I know it. So I've got to be brave for myself. And I've got to take this big, massive leap. And I'm not going into space to save the world population, which is what Ryan Gosling's character is doing. But I am taking a leap out into the unknown to save myself. And that feels pretty incredible too. Nauseating, but also pretty incredible. And I, when I was 17, I went to college. That was a big leap, excuse me. I left home and I moved to a city I've never lived in a state I've never lived in, and I came back home. And then I went to the hospital and I was homeless. I can do hard things. I have gotten through some of the most difficult things that I never even imagined I'd have to get through. And I did those things not necessarily for myself, but because it was the only thing I could do. So now I'm making this choice for myself, and that's why it feels different. I've There's no 100% guarantee that this is going to come back with good fortune for me, or it's going to positively backfire. I'm just choosing to believe it will because I feel it will. And I could end up being wrong, and that's fine. I have been wrong so many times in my life. I've also been right even more. And that's great because that's life, and that means I'm living it. So, yeah, this week's message is be brave. Whether that's for yourself or for someone else or something else, be brave. Take a leap. Write a paper about something and send it to a publisher. I don't know. Do something that you know will help. That's not necessarily the way I want to word it, but sometimes when I feel really bad about myself, I will look in the mirror and I just kind of stare at myself uninterrupted and I think nice things. Sometimes that is the bravest thing you can do. Or getting up out of bed, taking your laundry to the laundromat and washing it, starting a conversation with someone out in public. I'm not saying you need to upheave your whole life and move to a new place. You can if you want. It's a little stressful, but sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is just continue to keep going. And that is an equally difficult and scary thing sometimes. So, whether you need to be brave for yourself, or a loved one, or a pet, or an idea, or a dream, if it keeps you going, that's a fair enough thing to be brave for. I hope that this upcoming week is good for you and is kind to you. And if it's not, be brave and keep going. You've got this. I've got this. We've got this. And everything's going to be fine. I will talk to you next week. Thank you for turning to. Oh, goodness. I would get right at the end and I mess it up. Thanks for tuning in.